Rail travel is at record levels and more trains and new lines are being built to meet the continuing growth in demand. On local lines, growth is even stronger as more people turn to the railway for work, education, business and leisure. On many local lines and stations, people are now much more closely involved through community rail partnerships and station adoption. Community rail is all about partnership and adding value to the community the railway serves. For passengers, it means safer and more welcoming stations, as here in Bedfordshire, on the Marston Vale line between Bletchley and Bedford. Once part of an important cross-country route, the line still takes students to school in Bedford, commuters to work in Milton Keynes, Bedford or London, and it is a useful link for shopping and leisure journeys too. Unstaffed since 1968, the old building at Ridgemont was listed in 1977, but was empty and decaying. The Marston Vale Community Rail Partnership, together with other local charities and the Railway Heritage Trust, took the lead in restoring the building, which is now a popular tea room, as well as a heritage centre and offering rental space.
It's a Grade 2 listed building. It goes back to 1846. It was designed by the Duke of Bedford to very specific standards to look like a private house rather than a railway station. And it was in use as a station house until the 1960s, and then as a signal box until the early 2000s. And then since 2013, it's been open as a heritage centre and tea room to provide an additional generator of travel for the Marston Vale line.
Teams of volunteers from the Department for Transport have been working at the station to help improve the environment as part of a team-building exercise. But this is only a small part of volunteering which is happening on our railways. Over 3,200 people throughout Britain support their local lines or stations, with 250,000 hours of voluntary service annually. Nationally, this voluntary input is worth around £3.4 million a year. Station adoption is an outstanding low-cost, high-benefit measure. Further value is added where security or other problems can be addressed without high capital expenditure.
We're all retired. It's very dependent on the weather, how we feel and what needs doing, and any combination of those. First of all, this needed entirely clearing, and it took us about 3 or 4 months, and then we unearthed a lot of these cobbles, which are beautiful, and then we just started planting up and continued from there.
Community Rail is started really with ACORP, the Association of Community Rail Partnerships, and a gentleman called Paul Salverson, and it was basically to try and get people back interested in their local lines and to get the community involved with their stations. This Community Rail Partnership started way back in 1995 probably, just after the line reopened. And you can see on the station here there's an awful lot of flower tubs planted up, and that's the local rail user group and Friends of Stations who get involved in that. And yes, it's become more and more community involvement, and we encourage this at most of our stations where we can.
One of the other things that we do is work with children. We have an education programme and we work with mostly primary school children. DfT Primary School, a local to Blackburn Primary School, have done a superb piece of artwork in the waiting room here at Blackburn, and it's entirely made out of recycled materials. There's also a piece of work on Blackburn Station that's been done by slightly older children and youths from more deprived backgrounds. It's the Night Safe project. These kids are possibly been thrown out from home or have nowhere to live, and there's a short stay place very close to the station, and they've done a superb piece of artwork that can be seen from the building and adorns one of the buildings on the station.
As a train operator, we can start to get more actively involved within the community. So we have our train service, we have our stations, but we also have a remit to start engaging more with the residents and those people that are directly affected by a station, and how we can make the station an integral part of their community. But also we're investing more in our groups in terms of a match funding concept. So if people and the groups can raise funding, we'll match that to do more for the stations and the community.
The rail link buses have been a particular role that we've been working on this year, where National Trust properties or zoos like Marwell Zoo or gardens don't have any public transport, so we have put on buses to link up with the trains and make sure that on a regular basis on Wednesdays or weekends we get people to visit these places, come down from London or up from Portsmouth or Bournemouth by train, walk out to the station and then straight onto the bus to the zoo.
Community rail lines bring life back to local railways, pride to local communities, and bring local economic benefits. Research shows that they also boost passenger numbers, with growth running at 2.8% ahead of the national average. Community rail brings so much more than just transport benefits. The railway supports the local economy and particularly tourism. It brings better accessibility and mobility for those without access to a car. It supports education as the link for children between home and school and for students between home and college. For health, community rail lines enable patients to reach the larger regional hospitals or local care centres, and they can form the basis of a healthy and active lifestyle. They can help deliver local government objectives, and through providing better access to jobs, can help rural or urban deprivation. In short, they provide many opportunities for volunteering. So it's not a question of what can your local railway do for you, but also what can you do for your local railway. For more information about community rail, go to acorpco.uk.com for the link to your local line.